Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and revolutionaries all around the world. My name is Marcus White, your Revolution Pro Wrestling Podcast champion.
And of course, I am Mr. Fight Mode Nick Cavalli.
And we welcome you back to the Revolution Pro Wrestling Podcast, and this is your Wednesday Night War video. Yes, the show where we review both AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT on USA.
Both shows put on a fantastic showing tonight. We are going to go ahead and start off with WWE's NXT, per the usual, and they kicked things off pretty hot.
Yes, so NXT continuing the trend, I guess, of keeping people in the crowd. I say people, it's NXT talent that's underutilized, performance center guys, stuff like that. It's still cringy. Like, they gotta do something to make it a little less fake, because right now it just seems so bad. Like,
Forced?
It seems so forced. The people in the crowd, again, cheer the faces, boo the heels. And even what they're saying, like, the way the show starts out, the NXT, and, like, it just sounded so bad, so fake. Like, I'd rather there just be nobody at that point than have this fake-ass crowd.
Well, and of course, JR over on Dynamite took a couple shots at the WWE crowd this week. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the forced feeling behind this. I mean, you don't have to have Shawn Spears on a golf cart with 2 blocks of wood banging them together, but you can't just have a bunch of people who are acting like sheep, if you will. It's very bad. Honestly, I mean, if you wanted to get that authentic WWE feel, this feels like when they go to like some random town. Yeah, not like Lincoln or Omaha. They go to like the 3rd largest town, which has like 1,500 people in it.
Yeah. So we kick things off with the triple threat match to decide who will be going on to the finals of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. And that match is held between Drake Maverick, Kushida, and Jake Atlas. This was a fantastic match, as we knew it was going to be. My biggest issue here was the fact that, for the most part, Maverick didn't really do a lot in this match. He was kind of pushed off to the side. He had to sell the arm injury, as we know. But so a lot of this match was between Kushida and Jake Atlas, basically trying to decide who was going to get the victory over Drake Maverick first. Or so every once in a while, they take shots at each other. You did see Drake Maverick get the upper hand at a couple points, but he was the underdog for the majority of this match. Of course, at the end, Kushida hits the rolling armbar onto Jake Atlas, and while he's got it locked in, Drake Maverick actually puts his arm over Jake, causing the pinfall victory. Drake Maverick moves on to the finals, and we actually find out later on via slow motion camera that Jake Atlas actually tapped before the referee counted the 3 count. However, the referee's decision is final, so Drake Maverick will be going on to the finals.
Yes, alas, it is not a Stadium Stampede match, and as such, there are no challenges from the team captains. But this was a really good match, and of course, this sows the seeds for a couple of interesting matches and some intermingling in the Cruiserweight division coming up. And I mean, it's if it wasn't already, Drake Maverick has to be back now, right? Like, this has to be official.
Yeah, Drake Maverick, I hope at least is re-signed. Again, like I said before, if he's not, then they're doing him wonders for him going off into free agency. But I think he has been booked incredibly well going forward. I really hope he wins this next match. I like the story they told after, too. He goes for this interview, and he's like, look, I saw what happened. If I need to have another match against Kushida, I don't care what I got to do. And then Kushida comes in and goes, no, you go on. You fight for your career. That's fine. And then Drake Maverick responds by saying, you know what? Thank you. And when I win the Cruiserweight Championship, you're going to be the first person that gets a shot.
To which I'm entirely certain that Jordan Devlin is sitting over in the UK going, yeah, I guess screw me then, right, huh? Yeah, I mean, with travel restrictions still in place, probably a while before we do get to see Jordan Devlin come back after his title, but the path seems pretty well set. And you and I had talked about this a little bit last night. For those of you who don't know, obviously we're recording a little bit late here. We've had some personal stuff come up, some technological issues. I mean, welcome to the world of that which shall not be named. And we so we had a conversation about this last night about how the path seems set. Maverick wins. He gets the match against Kushida. El Hijo interferes in the match against Kushida. And then you get some kind of feud between Maverick and El Hijo del Fantasma, who is now the leader of the Dark Order.
Yeah, like he's got to be the leader of those masked men, right? It just seems so obvious to me. But I want to just rewind it back to the match here. Kushida, who was the favorite going into this match and into this tournament, except for Swerve, who I think that was everyone's safe pick besides Kushida. He still looks strong in this match. I mean, in the 2 times that Kushida's lost in this tournament, think about how he's lost. The first time he lost because he just got outsmarted. Like Drake Maverick, he had him locked in a submission in the armbar. Drake just locks his arms and like kind of goes on top of him to get the pinfall. And then the second time he loses, he technically should have won. Like he caused Jake Atlas to tap, but because the ref didn't see it, and Maverick gets the win. Like so, Kushida still looks strong. Like he doesn't get hurt by not winning this at all. He still looks fine. Jake Atlas is young. He's got plenty of years to go, so I'm not worried about him not getting the push just yet. So I appreciate this decision from WWE. I think it was the right one. I saw some people complaining about this on Twitter the other day, saying that what's the purpose of having Drake Maverick go forward if he's not re-signed with the company? Well, even if he's not, Drake Maverick is still going to put on a fantastic match against El Hijo. I think for the people that are complaining about that, you're worried about Drake Maverick. Well, this, again, as I've explained before, this is doing nothing but good for Maverick going forward. I mean, the fact that he's getting the opportunity to showcase himself in these matches before he potentially leaves WWE, I think that's fantastic for him. Even though he didn't exactly get the best outing in this matchup, he still, what he did get to do, I still thought was amazing. The booking was phenomenal. So yeah, I think this is nothing but positive for Maverick. I think, how can you not see this as an absolute win if you're Drake Maverick going forward? Yeah. Either you win the Cruiserweight Championship and keep your job, or you get to leave WWE getting a massive rub. So it's a win-win either way.
Yeah, this is a win-win for Drake. Either way you go, he's going to do something extremely, extremely important and very well in the near future, whether that be with WWE or elsewhere.
So, let's move on now. We get an announcement that the women's triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship has been announced. So, at NXT TakeOver in your house, it's going to be Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley. So, the prediction that everyone and their mother's been making since Rhea came back has come to fruition. So, looking forward to that. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a really good matchup. The 3 of these women all have relatively different styles, which is going to play into the favor of the wrestling fan. So, it's going to be interesting to see how these 3 match up, but I'm extremely excited to see this match go down.
Yes. So, next we get Johnny Gargano versus Adrian Alanis. He is a former Evolve competitor, so again we're seeing that linked past between NXT and Evolve come to play. NXT Triple H loves his Evolve competitors, as we know, so I was looking forward to seeing this match, and we found out that from via our complaints, clearly this had everything to do with us talking about it. Johnny Gargano's theme song has been updated. Yes, they've added some lyrics, changed a little bit of the music. So I like the new theme. I think it sounds good. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's better than basic rock theme 3. So
yeah,
no, I like it. This is a step forward in the Johnny Gargano heel character, which I didn't think we could get. So that's good.
Yes. So then Johnny Gargano, when he comes out, he takes a page out of John Cena and I guess Cody Rhodes' book now. When he comes out, he announces the Johnny Gargano Invitational. Yes, he is going to be giving young, up-and-coming NXT and Performance Center stars an opportunity to come out and make their name against the very best in NXT. Cue Adrian Alanis. So they have a match. I was impressed with Adrian for what little offense he got in. It was a squash match, obviously. Johnny won this one pretty handily, picks up the win with the Gargano escape. But what happens after is that Keith Lee and Mia Yim appear on the screen, and they are mocking the Gargano dinner segments we've been getting the last couple weeks. This was hilarious. I really like that.
This was pure freaking gold from Mia Yim and Keith Lee. These two play very well off one another.
Yes, you had Keith Lee talking about the centerpiece that they bought for the table. He says, well, it's cheap and trashy, just like the Garganos. There was a lot that happened in this one. It was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, please go look up the segment on YouTube, or if you have the network, go and watch it back on the network. I thought it was this is how you rectify the mistakes you've made with that segment in the past, is by being able to take it on the chin and go, yeah, that was dumb, but hey, look how dumb it was. So I'm okay with that. I thought that was funny. Next, we get a promo from the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Eichner and Bartel, aka Imperium. And they call out Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Which is definitely a mistake, because those guys hit like a ton of bricks.
You talk about the two hardest hitters in NXT. My God, those guys lay into it.
Nah, I'm good. Nope.
Nah, fam. I'm good. But I definitely want the match. I definitely can't wait to see the match. And it is announced now. It will be Oney and Danny versus Imperium for the Tag Team Championships at NXT Takeover in your house. So,
and the important thing is these guys, they wrestle a similar style, a little bit more that European style, and it's going to be a fantastic match between all four of these men. They're going to play very well off one another.
It's the obvious decision to take for taking the tag team division going forward. Oney and Danny have been building momentum these last couple weeks. Obviously, with the Broserweights being kind of sidetracked while Pete Dunne is off stranded in the UK, and obviously Riddle's having his issues with Thatcher. So you needed a direction to go with the tag team division. And this is a step in the right direction. I appreciate the fact that they're now starting to build the division back up with legitimate tag teams like these two teams. What better way to go, our tag team division, this is our tag team division. This is how we're going to submit the new era of tag team wrestling in NXT, then kick it off with probably what's going to be the hardest hitting match on the card. So I look forward to seeing that. I look forward to seeing where they go after, whether Oney and Danny win or Imperium picks up the victory. Who challenges next for the titles? I have a feeling they might keep a feud going with Oney and Danny, so they may not pick up the victory at In Your House, but you may see a couple more matches going forward. I think that could be a very interesting feud, so I look forward to seeing where that goes. Next, Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Gonzalez. Mm-hmm. And don't give me that look. This was not a bad match.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a bad match. Shotzi has continuously impressed me over the last couple weeks. Raquel actually looked pretty good in this match as well. Recall back to their tag team match a couple weeks ago. These two had the best chemistry of the four women in the match. And Dakota Kai and Tegan were in that match. So let's not forget that. So I thought these two did a pretty good job. This was nothing, amazing or spectacular, but it definitely was, nothing to sneeze at. This wasn't a bad match. It was just pretty average. However, we did see a lot of interference towards the end of this match. Dakota comes out.
That is kind of where my issue comes in, is the level or the magnitude that interference kind of played into this match. But go ahead.
Well, so you have Dakota come out, and she starts messing with the Tank, but then Tegan Nox attacks her. Then you have Candice LeRae come out, and she starts yelling at Tegan, causing the ref to be distracted. Dakota Kai gets involved, and that leads to Raquel Gonzalez picking up the victory. Now, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with anything that just happened here, because you want to keep Raquel Gonzalez looking strong. So Shotzi Blackheart doesn't really look weak in losing in this manner, but Raquel Gonzalez, you still want her to be built up as the badass, so the badass heel. So I'm okay with interference leading up to the victory for Raquel. I have no problem with that.
I mean, look, I'm okay with Dakota Kai getting involved. I'm even kind of okay with Tegan Nox getting involved, because I guess she's friends with Shotzi Blackheart. Candice LeRae has no point being there, and I know that she has this interview after the match where she loses her crap on Tegan because you're friends with me, him. But no.
No, you missed the point. The reason she came out to yell at Tegan was because Tegan was in that promo earlier with Mia Yim and Keith Lee. She was the pizza girl. So she's like, you're in there making fun of me, taking shots at me. You got something to say? I'm right here. Let's go. So I have it makes sense. I have no problem with that.
I suppose to the pain of convenience, yeah, why not? I don't know. Candice LeRae doesn't have to be in every segment. That's just me.
I mean, I guess. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's fine. I think everything that happened makes sense, and it builds towards something going forward. Obviously, Tegan and Dakota have issues, and Candice and Tegan surely now have problems. So you've got a lot of things going forth. How does Shotzi Blackheart play into all this? Obviously, she just lost a match. So is this building towards a Shotzi Raquel feud or a Shotzi Dakota feud? We don't know going forward. Obviously, none of these women are really in the women's title picture as of now, but they could be going forward. So this will be a lot easier to determine if there was a ranking system, if we knew where people were contendership rise for the championship. We don't, so this is all just speculation, but Shotzi's been picking up a lot of wins lately, so I would assume she's probably getting higher on that list for contenders. So that's only my guess. I don't think that she's getting an opportunity anytime soon because she's still so new. But you can definitely see the writing on the wall. I mean, they're giving her the push with the promos, the Tank, everything. So you can definitely see that Triple H and NXT has big plans for Miss Blackheart for the future. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this.
But hey, we're gonna have a tag team match, player. Holla holla.
Yes, so we get 3 members of the women's triple threat match. Rhea and Io Shirai versus Charlotte Flair and her tag team partner, Chelsea Green. So getting the call up to the big leagues. What a surprise. Huge boost of momentum for the Robert Stone brand. Who would have thought? Chelsea Green and Charlotte Flair teaming together. I had never seen that come. I honestly did. I had no idea where they were going when they mentioned that Charlotte Flair was going to be in a tag team match. I was like, who the hell is Charlotte going to team?
Who would tag with Charlotte?
I was expecting like Bayley to pop up or something at this point. I was like, they had their thing on Friday night, but there was like a little bit of a respect thing there. Maybe Bayley shows up. I don't know. Yep. Nope.
I have no idea, man.
Chelsea Green. And I don't know if it was just me, but while I'm watching this match, good match, but while I'm watching this, the parts where like Chelsea are in the ring and you have like Io and Rhea both like saying get Charlotte in the ring, and she's like, no, It's my time. And then she just gets her ass kicked. And you have Charlotte on the ropes like, God, why did I pick you?
Well, I mean, when it comes down to having you or literally nobody else, I suppose I'll take you.
Then you have, like, she tags in Charlotte. Charlotte starts beating the crap out of whoever she's in the ring with. Tags back in Chelsea. Immediately starts getting her ass kicked again. So it's, what did you do, Chelsea?
Well, she took a bullet for Charlotte is what she did.
She did. So the ending segment of this match, Io Shirai hits the Tiger feint kick on Charlotte. Then she hits the drop kick. She goes for the drop kick onto Charlotte, but then Chelsea Green shoves her out the way, taking the hit for her tag team partner. Io Shirai then goes for a running clothesline into Charlotte, but Charlotte ducks out the way, causing Io to strike Rhea Ripley, sending her flying off into the barricade. Charlotte then rolls up Io and uses the ropes as leverage to pick up the victory. So Charlotte and Chelsea Green pick up the win over Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai.
So Charlotte to the Robert Stone brand confirmed, right?
I think the biggest takeaway from this is that nice little push for Chelsea. You know, now she's getting involved with stuff that actually kind of matters. She even got a nod of approval there from Charlotte. I'm never going to complain about seeing Rhea, Io, and Charlotte on NXT at the same time. All three women are amazing competitors, so no complaints from me here with this.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'm going to make Teddy Long jokes all day about stuff like this, this was actually a really good match, despite Chelsea Green getting her ass absolutely kicked. I was actually really happy with the way this turned out. Everything went the way it probably should have, and it sets up perfectly for TakeOver in your house.
And again, it's another showing of the fact that the NXT women's division and Charlotte have literally just been carrying women's wrestling these last couple weeks. I mean, they just have. Women's wrestling on SmackDown and Raw, it's horrible. It's really bad.
And then there's Dynamite.
And then there's Dynamite, which is just a whole nother level that I just can't even, like, address. It's getting better? Can I lie and say that? Yeah.
I think so.
I would put them on the same level as Raw and SmackDown. So you did it.
That's better than it was before.
Yeah, you made it. You did the thing, Dynamite. I'm proud of you. So yeah, NXT is probably the best women's division. No, is the best women's division in pro wrestling right now. I think they've been doing a fantastic job. Charlotte is an amazing champion. I definitely prefer her in this role than when she's rocking the Raw or SmackDown women's title, because I think she's been doing wonders for the NXT women's division. I don't care what haters online are saying, that you're sick of seeing Charlotte, blah, 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 blah. She's a fighting champion. She shows up on literally all three shows at this point. Like, she is carrying the women's division on her back. What the F are you complaining about? I just don't get it. And, like, I've seen some people that will point to the fact that NXT has been having really poor showings in the ratings these last couple of weeks. Look at wrestling across the board.
Yeah.
Every show has been having poor ratings. All of them. Literally all of them. So if you're to sit here and blame Charlotte on NXT's bad ratings, it's just asinine. Like, what? This is just such a poor excuse for you idiots to hate on Charlotte Flair. And I'm no Charlotte Flair defender. I've ripped on Charlotte for frickin' ever because her promos sometimes can be robotic as all hell. And her and the entire Four Horsewomen bury the entire women's division 9 times out of 10. So I have my issues with Charlotte, but in this case, she's been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not anything that Charlotte can do outside the box. I mean, realistically, wrestling as a whole right now, as you said, is falling in the ratings, and it's not just wrestling. It's wrestling review shows, it's wrestling talk shows, it's wrestling podcasts. We're all struggling right now because wrestling's not exactly at its peak and people aren't particularly watching right now. So, you can't blame this on any one person. You can blame it probably on any one thing, but we can't name said thing. So, aha.
I mean, hell, if I had to boil down WWE's mistakes from the last couple months, I could certainly point to one person. But he's not an in-ring competitor.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. I didn't even think about that. The funny thing is, now that AJ is on SmackDown, there's reportedly a bunch of people from Raw and NXT who want to go to SmackDown now.
Of course. You know Fox is just going to be like, come on over!
Yep. Reportedly, there are quite a number of superstars who've requested to be either traded to or called up to SmackDown to work with AJ Styles because it's SmackDown AJ, not Raw AJ.
Exactly. Hey, that is the AJ Styles effect. I love it. It's kind of like Brady going to the Bucks. Like, all of a sudden, you got all these people showing up. So, hey, man, I'm down. I'm cool with it, bro. The house that AJ Styles built. By the way, that's tonight because we are recording this on a Friday night or on a Friday. So look forward to our SmackDown review. Be out tomorrow, maybe, if things go our way.
Sure.
So
we'll move on now.
Yes, we get negotiations between Adam Cole and NXT General Manager William Regal. So, Mr. Adam Cole lays out his terms for Regal. He says that he wants the Undisputed Era to get a fair shot at the tag team titles because they had to fight a team that they weren't prepared for. He says that he wants Velveteen Dream gone. He doesn't want him anywhere near his title. He doesn't want him in his business, on his show. He wants him gone. To which Regal responds, look, do you know how to negotiate here? Look, if you don't want to, that's fine. But if you do, keep acting like a baby. So I thought that was the best line of the night. He says that he wants Velveteen Dream to get a rematch at In Your House, to which Adam Cole responds, how? Where do all these handouts keep coming from? What has Dream done to earn a rematch for my title? And then Regal actually compares the two. He says, both you and Dream are actually very alike. You both enjoy having the spotlight shown directly on top of you. This sets Adam Cole off. So he says, look, if I beat Dream at Takeover In Your House, then I want you to say it. I want you to say that Dream will never get another shot at my title as long as I am the champion. To this, Regal agrees, and the match is set. However, he puts a caveat on it. He says that the setting will be where I think is appropriate for a match of this stature. So the match is made. Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship at Takeover In Your House at an unspecified location.
Yeah, I mean, I was with it all the way to the end there, and then he throws the caveat on it, and I'm like, I guess I'm missing something, because I have no idea what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's kind of it kind of came out of nowhere. It was a curveball, like, okay. Like, I was expecting him to say something like, well, like, if you lose, like, you gotta, like, I don't know, like, just throw some, like, BS in there, like, you leave NXT or something, or, like, you don't get a shot at the title, or something like that. Like, I was expecting, Adam Cole's been a pain in Regal's ass this whole time, so I would think maybe he'd throw something in there that actually made sense. Nope, it's just unspecified location. Cool. Like,
Fight match, let's go.
I mean, this is kind of like the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa thing,
yeah.
Except that had so much more build to it, and there was a lot more animosity between these two. And there's animosity between Dream and Adam Cole, but I feel like this feud has kind of gotten derailed since the whole accusation things that happened a couple weeks prior. And now you've kind of been building towards Dexter Lumis, but I guess he's not in the title picture, according to this. So
yes.
I don't know where to go with this. We haven't seen Dream prominently on NXT since he lost his match for the title. It's been Dexter Lumis featured. Dream hasn't had a match since then. And now you're telling me he gets a rematch for the NXT Championship?
Cause reasons, yes.
Cause reasons. Like, what did Dream do to get a rematch?
He is the Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, like, this is one of those scenarios where you can kind of look and you can kind of tell that the NXT creative team is looking around the roster and going, oh God, there's nobody here. Quick, Dream, fight for the championship again.
Right, like, oh, well, yeah, we can't make it Dexter Lumis, so Dream.
Yeah, the landscape of NXT right now in terms of who could realistically fight for Adam Cole's championship is kind of barren right now. You got Finn Balor off doing his thing. Keith Lee obviously is a champion. Even like someone like Matt Riddle, he's involved in his storyline with Thatcher. So some of the heavy hitters that you're accustomed to being in the title picture right now are either away or they're involved in other storylines. So it's a tough spot to be in if you're NXT right now, especially with that shall not be named going around. So I understand the reasoning behind this decision. It's a little goofy, but I mean, I won't complain. Dream versus Adam Cole was a fantastic match the first time around, so I look forward to seeing it again. Hopefully we get some sort of different ending. It's not just the Undisputed Era coming in again to save Adam Cole's skin. I don't know what's going to happen. I just pray for a different ending. I don't care if Dream loses. I just want it to not be because of the Undisputed Era for the umpteenth time.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to wear a little thin on me. So I'd like to see something different. I don't need to have Dream win. Maybe he does. I don't know. But the important thing here is that you don't have Adam Cole go over because my guys came to the ring, distracted the ref, and hit the moves. Yep. Like, I want you to actually put thought into this process.
Hell, put Cole over clean. We've seen Cole win matches clean before as a champion.
And
he can do
one
it.
Of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, so. He can do it. I promise you he can.
Yeah.
But let's move on now. We get a promo from the now #1 contenders for the NXT Tag Team Champions, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They, of course, this is a promo package for them. They're discussing their history in the wrestling business, talking about their struggles coming up through life. They talk about each other, talk about how they are both some of the hardest hitters in NXT, and they say that when they had their feud, you know, it was just magic in a bottle. You know, like they had such great chemistry. You just felt it, the respect they had for each other. They had to give it a shot, so they formed a tag team, and it worked wonders out the gate. They've had extreme success, and now they find themselves challenging for the tag team championships. So I look forward to see. I like these guys a lot. They don't get a chance to talk very often, but they're not bad speakers. This was a nice little package set up by the production team. I thought both men were very. They were like, and this is the thing, they're not like the most extremely charismatic people, but there's just something charming about them that I just like them. They're good people, and I just want to see them win. So I enjoyed watching this package from these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They're kind of the underdog story when it comes to NXT. So I'd be really interested to see these guys get a run with the belt, despite my love for Imperium. Hopefully, we'll get a really fantastic match at Takeover in Your House. We've already covered what we think that's going to be like, so I'm just looking forward to what's going to come in the near future.
So, next we get Tommaso Ciampa versus, oh, poor guy, Leon Ruff. Man can't catch a break. I feel so bad for, like...
Squash.
I feel so bad for these jobbers that they've been using on Dynamite and NXT the last, like, couple weeks during quarantine, because poor guys have had to face the likes of, like, Lance Archer, Wardlow, Tommaso Ciampa, Karrion Kross. Like, my God, poor people. I just feel bad. Like, imagine getting that. Imagine getting that schedule. So you've got Tommaso Ciampa next week. Today you take on Karrion Kross. I do what now?
Yeah. Or even as equally as bad over in Dynamite. Yeah, you have Mr. Brody Lee this week. Next week you get Lance Archer. Oh, is that all? No, Brian Cage is going to make his debut against you as well in a couple weeks. Good luck.
Yeah, so it's been a rough couple weeks for these guys. Hey. So, yeah. Ciampa versus Leon Ruff. Squash match, nothing more to say. Scarlett, the entire time, is at ringside. Actually, this kind of caused a little bit of a distraction. You had Ruff go for a roll-up out the gate. Smart move, young man. Go try to get him while his back is turned. I appreciate the moxie there, but no, he gets his ass kicked quite handily. Tommaso Ciampa picks up the victory with the fairy tale ending for the pinfall. And then Kross appears on screen. And oh god, it's the return of the one-word emphasized promo. As the word of the day is special. Yet again, Kross comes on the screen and he says, I agree. Tommaso Ciampa, you are special. And what you do on NXT is special. And the match we're going to have at TakeOver is going to be special. So repetitive. Tasty. No, he goes on to say that at TakeOver in your house, I'm going to make you feel something that you've never felt in your life. Tick tock.
I mean, aside from the goofiness that is special. Special. Yeah, I thought this was a really good promo, and I'm excited. Like, this match is going to be fantastic. These guys are just out of this world competitors.
Yes. So, moving on now to the main event. They named it. It's no longer a cage match. Ladies and gentlemen, making its debut in NXT, the Fight Pit. What did you think of this structure?
Alright, so we talked about this a little bit already. I loved the Fight Pit fight, whatever they're calling it. They've thrown the two words around, but they've interchanged them consistently. I loved the matchup, and I loved the structure. I loved how they played off one another. It felt like a genuine cage fight, like caged animals going at it. So I loved that.
So let me describe this thing for you guys. It's not a normal steel cage structure in any way, shape, or form. They went kind of like, it kind of looks like the War Games cage in a sense, except it's just one cage. There are no ring ropes, no turnbuckle padding, and the mat is an elevated platform. There's also a walkway at the top of the cage to where there's another referee standing up there, there's a camera guy up there, and then the wrestlers, of course, can go up and use it as they please. So you can leave the cage if you want to, but the victory has to be decided in the cage, and victory is only decided via submission or knockout, which will be determined via a standing 10 count. Or excuse me, just a 10 count.
Yes, a 10 count. I love the idea. I love the stipulation, but I told you this yesterday. It is not going to work very well when crowds are back in the arena. It did not seem like the kind of thing that would be particularly easy to see into from the outside. That being said, I loved this stipulation while we're where we are. The scaffold matches have happened in the past. I mean, that's part of wrestling lore. We probably don't talk about most of them because most of them weren't particularly great. But the addition of the steel cage structure to the scaffold, this was an awesome match. I was really excited, and it was bloody and violent and just pure ruthless aggression.
Oh yeah,
I loved every second of it.
yeah. This had a fight feel to it. Obviously, you've got Kurt Angle as the special guest referee. Yeah, this had a fight feel to it. Hell, within the first 2 minutes, Thatcher loses 2 teeth.
Yep.
Matt Riddle, something that I such a creative bit of offense here, kind of kicks off the side of the cage and then does a spinning heel kick, catches Thatcher right there, right in the jaw, and then Thatcher, like a badass, just spits out his 2 teeth. He's ready to fight again. Refs are like, whoa, no, get over
Let's
here.
Let's go.
They're like, you good, Thatcher? They have a doctor check him out, and they're like, he's fine. So that was fantastic. I love that. And this was just bloody. It was, as you said, it was brutal. This felt like a fight. Not a lot of your standard wrestling moves here. You saw the variety in the movesets from Thatcher and Riddle. You didn't see Riddle's standard arsenal of more showmanship-like moves. He was mainly just going to punish Thatcher, and obviously Thatcher was already, his moveset's just based around inflicting punishment. You saw that ramped up to 11 in this match. These two just wanted to kill each other, and especially when you got kind of near the end here. But what I liked about this is kind of, throwing it back to how Dynamite does things. You had the referee before the competitors enter the match. They checked each competitor. You had the tail of the tape giving the different specifications for each fighter. I thought that was cool. So this was a fight. I liked everything about this, and then the way this match ends is that you get the final flash knee strike from Riddle, and they were actually fighting on top of the cage. He sends Thatcher crashing back down to the mat. He then hits a floating bro off the top, catches Thatcher flush, and then he gets caught, though. Thatcher actually was bashing Riddle's face into the side of the cage before locking in the rear naked choke the second time. This causes Riddle to pass out. Kurt Angle does the lift the arm a couple times thing, declares he's out of it. Timothy Thatcher picks up the win in the first ever Fight Pit match.
Never, ever in my life would I thought I'd see a match quite like this, and I didn't entirely anticipate Timothy Thatcher beating Matt Riddle, but this match went very well. It obviously does a lot for both of these guys. I'm excited to see where this rubber match is going to be held, because now they're 1-1 against one another.
I definitely think this was the right decision. I was surprised when Riddle picked up the first victory, because Thatcher, is new. They obviously want to give him a little bit of momentum. And now, of course, picking up the victory here in this Fight Pit match, that, as you said, this makes these guys even now. They are 1-1 apiece. So seeing Thatcher hold his own against Riddle in a match like this, and the way he won in a dominant fashion with that submission causing Riddle to pass out. Yeah, I don't know where you go in terms of the rubber match. It kind of seems like you blew your load on this one. I mean, you go from a regular match to a Fight Pit match. What's the next match? A death match? I don't know where you go from here. Flaming tables? I have no idea what's the next step in destruction for these two. But I definitely think the decision was correct. I actually hope that Tim Thatcher goes over in the end over Riddle. I think it would do wonders for Thatcher going forward in his NXT career. I think Riddle losing to Timothy Thatcher isn't going to hurt him. He was just fighting Adam Cole for the World Championship a couple months ago, so his stature in the company is fine. He's not going to get hurt by losing to a brute like Tim Thatcher. I think it doesn't hurt him at all, and it'll certainly do wonders for Thatcher's NXT career.
Yeah, I think that you're building a bona fide star here with Timothy Thatcher, which is something, again, I didn't entirely anticipate. But this guy he's got it. He's got that fight factor, that grit factor. He feels a little bit like Jon Moxley. The things that you love about Moxley. He fights. He's gritty. He's going to get his teeth knocked out. He's going to spit them out and be ready to fight again. Like,
yes,
that's the kind of thing you expect from that kind of fighter. So I'm really, really excited to see where this goes.
But let's go ahead and move on. What is your match of the night for NXT?
Fight pit match. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, it's hard to pick another match that had this kind of intensity. Fight pit match. These two did a great job. They risked life and limb in this match for our entertainment, and they did a fantastic job. MVP for you.
Timothy Thatcher? I mean, I feel like for me it has to be one of those two guys. Tim won. Congrats.
It's definitely. I don't disagree with you. I think it's hard to not go with Timothy Thatcher as your MVP here. Dude's a badass. I don't know if the whole losing the teeth thing was real or not, but
probably not.
But it looked cool. So
Yep.
Good on you, mate. Fantastic
and
job.
I do have 2 Fight Mode Fighter of the Nights to give out. Both Timothy Thatcher and Mr. Matthew Riddle. I'm going to give both of you guys a Fight Mode Fighter of the Night for the fantastic work you did in that fight pit match. So we're going to move on now to AEW Dynamite live on the greatest network in America. Good plug, Cody. TNT. And we...
better than USA, I'll give you that.
I mean, shoot, you're not wrong there.
At the beginning of Dynamite, we have a promo from the Inner Circle. They're sitting outside the stadium, and they're soaking. They're complaining about their loss Saturday to the Elite. What are we going to do with all these shirts? They have shirts that are promoting the Stadium Stampede. It has the Inner Circle as the champion, so obviously mocking the whole thing where, like, when you have your NBA champions or your Super Bowl champions, they always have shirts for both sides, whoever wins, and then they just give away those shirts after. And then we find out they actually have a truck full of shirts, so they got to figure out a way to get rid of those at some point. Then we move on, to the promo from Matt Hardy and the Elite.
So Matt Hardy is talking about their victory at the Stadium Stampede match and how he is so happy that he got to stand side by side with his Elite brothers to do that. And at the mention of the Elite, Hangman Page leaves.
He's like, yeah, guys, I got some drinks. I'm gonna back in the hotel. I'm gonna head out. And then Kenny Omega's like, yeah, I got some jugs and some milk.
I got a couple cartons of milk.
Yeah, I'm also gonna head out. You have Matt Hardy going full broken here, like Damascus is in its full form, just going out. Yes, I'm with the Bucks of Youth, and we're going to team tonight for the very first time. And the Bucks are like, all right, Matt, can we get a different version of you, bro? I am picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, yeah! Woo!
Yeah, so Matt Hardy comes out as Team Extreme version of Hardy. Then they're like, I was thinking we go a little bit of a different direction, maybe more classic. He's like,
further back.
I got you, I understand. Comes back in, classic Matt Hardy has arrived.
Oh my God. So Matt Hardy comes out literally as the dude he debuted as in WWE. Like the guy he cut promos as a kid. Like, that was so cool to see that. They even mentioned his name. Unfortunately, it slips my mind at the current moment. But this was so cool to see Matt in that fashion. And he has a different theme for this version.
I love it, man. I love what they're doing with this Matt Hardy character, the different iterations of Hardy. I'm interested to see how this is going to play out once you actually have crowds back in the arena now, how they're going to do it. Some of the mid-match transformations are going to be a little bit more difficult to pull off. Obviously, you're going to have to see Hardy kind of disappear for a little bit and then come back out as a different version. So that'll probably be a little bit harder to pull off once you do have crowds, but it's still going to be cool. I'm excited to see this character going forward.
So this was definitely a great iteration of Matt Hardy. Great to see him in the ring. And we get the matchup. The Private Party and Joey Janela takes on the Young Bucks, the Bucks of Youth and Matthew Hardy, and it was a fantastic match.
Hardy looks amazing. He looked like I get that he transformed to a younger vessel, but dude looked like he just stepped out of a time machine. Like, he looked fantastic. Like, it was great. He was doing moves I didn't think he could still do. Man was carrying that match, actually, for the majority of it.
He looked like he was in his 20s.
Yeah. He looks fantastic. He did a great job. It's been really nice to see kind of the career resurgence of Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy over on SmackDown. Seeing both of these guys still showing that they've still got it. They can still hang with the young kids of today. So I enjoyed this a lot. The Hardys were a huge part of my upbringing into the wrestling business. So I have a soft spot for Matt Hardy.
Well, Matt Hardy was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. I know you were more of a Jeff Hardy fan, but Matt Hardy was my guy. I mean, his run with the U.S. title, everything. Matt Hardy was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. So to see him finally getting his due over in AEW and getting to really expose us to the character he has built from the ground up makes me so happy. And the important thing with this match is Joey Janela didn't make me hate it.
Yes.
He didn't do so poorly that I wanted to lose my mind. So that's great.
So we do see the Bucks and Hardy pick up the victory, but after Butcher and Blade get in the ring and they attack the Young Bucks, during the match we actually saw the Young Bucks throw, I believe it was the Private Party into Butcher and the Blade, so they come in, they're getting retaliation for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dax and Cash are here. Yes!
Yes, the team formerly known as The Revival have made their AEW presence known. They come in, and it looks like they're going to attack the Elite. We know the history between those two teams. It's been a running joke in the business for a couple years now. And they actually turn and they attack Butcher and the Blade. So, sign of respect there between FTR and the Young Bucks. And then after, they make their leave. They've done what they needed to do, and they walk out.
This is going to be... This feud... Like, I want to say this match, but this feud is going to be one of the best tag team feuds we will have the luxury of seeing in our lifetime. The Revolt or FTR, whatever they're going by now, these guys are bonafide, old style, old school tag team wrestlers. And they took a picture actually after the episode with Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And that is the perfect example. They built themselves around guys like the Four Horsemen, like the Von Erichs. So to see them getting a chance to go up against the epitome of new age flippy shit wrestling, I can't wait. I can't wait. Nothing could be better than no flips, just fists, and killing the business.
Yes, it's going to be a throwback to like when you saw the Revival facing off against teams like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Like, their match, we talk about the best tag team matches in NXT history. That's what you point to. And now you're getting the Revival, or FTR, versus the Young Bucks. And this is no knock against Ciampa and Gargano, because they are when they were a team, they were one of the best tag teams in the world, and they are fantastic competitors in their own right. But the Young Bucks are on another level. Like, this is the best tag team in the world, and now you're seeing them face off against FTR. So it's going to be a fantastic match.
They're an elite level of tag team, if you will. So I'm really excited to see this. And if you look for the best tag team matches in NXT history, on the top 10 list, probably 5 of them at the very least are going to have the Revival in them. So I'm just throwing that out there. And the Revival even mentioned, FTR even mentioned in their episode with Talk is Jericho, that their best matches were never even televised. Their matches with Gable and Jordan that they've had, they only got to do 1 or 2 of those on television, but they said, again, they were held back by bad creative. So a little bit of a shot there as well. Hopefully they get the opportunity to face everybody they want to, including hopefully Santana and Ortiz. I think that would be a fantastic matchup. But this is setting up for one of the best matches in tag team history, and I just can't wait to see FTR in action on Dynamite.
This is the best tag division in the world, like, bar none. There was a point where it was kind of like, well, who has the better tag division? You got AEW or NXT? No, it's Dynamite. AEW has the best tag division in the world, bar none. They consistently put on the best tag team matches my God, like you could throw any number of teams in there and just go put me on a main event level match.
Yep.
And it just happens.
This is the thing that we have to point out. Butcher and Blade have been out of action for a month and a half. Private Party before this had been out of action for a month, and Death Triangle, if you will, or the Lucha Bros, if you prefer, haven't been in action in about 2 months because of that which shall not be named. So, I mean, you are missing 3 of your top tier tag teams right now. I'm overly excited to see where the AEW tag division is going. And maybe, again, with all of this great tag talent, you have the ability to put Kenny Omega back in the singles division.
Now that you've got FTR, I mean, just the number of teams just keeps growing, so don't know how long they're going to be rocking the tag belts. I don't see them losing it at Fyter Fest, but they might drop the belts at the next pay-per-view or whatever their next defense is. We'll have to see. So
they have a defense next week that
yes,
I doubt
they'll
lose next week to Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian.
Yeah, no.
But at Fyter Fest, they do have a challenge. They are facing the Best Friends. The Best Friends have been out of their effing minds lately. And again, yes. I talked about the idea that, they like to reward their guys who stuck through the tapings and who were there for the 4 or 5 days that they took to tape 6 to 8 weeks worth of wrestling.
They did? Did what? Did I miss what happened with the casino ladder match? I didn't see anybody get Fire Cage walked in and was like, "That's mine." So
okay, maybe
your ass is mine.
Maybe that was a little different. I don't know, man. So speaking of Brian Cage,
yes. So Moxley comes out for commentary, and it's going to be, speak of we kind of made mention of this on our NXT portion of the video. Poor jobber. Lee Johnson.
Dude, Lee Johnson, bro.
My God.
He's been the jobber for like 3 guys' debut matches, and he has just gotten torn apart.
Dude, I feel bad, man. It's going to be
Here's
Lee.
The difference, though. Lee Johnson, like, when you look at him versus, I think he was with Brody Lee at one point, and he was with Archer at one point, and then you look at him against Brian Cage. Against Brian Cage, I'm still terrified of Brian Cage. Like, Archer and Brody Lee, I'm like, show me more. Brian Cage, I'm like, he's doing things humans shouldn't be able to do to other humans.
Yeah, so Lee Johnson versus Brian Cage. What do you think? Brian Cage picks up the victory with they called it the drill claw. So that's a name for a finisher. It's eventually he flips the guy over, puts him in like a pile driver position and then drops him on his bastard head.
Yeah, it's from like a suplex hold too, which
yes.
requires all of the upper body strength. Yeah, and every time I see it, I'm more and more afraid that it's going to kill somebody.
Yeah, there's like no way to protect that guy.
No,
he's just
not really.
All on the head and neck.
Yep, good luck. If you die, you die. Who can stop the path of Cage?
So afterwards, we get a promo from Taz, who is the manager for Brian Cage, or the consultant, the coach, whatever you want to call him. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taz.
By the way, Brian Cage versus Lesnar. Book it. Let's go.
Yes. When JR called on Double or Nothing, the F10!
Yep. So, yeah, Taz cuts a promo. He says that, Moxley, I have a lot of respect for you. I have respect for what you've done in this business. You've busted your ass. You've paid your dues. You're a hard worker, you know. You've done everything that there is to be done in this business, and I respect that. But, brother, you're dealing with something different. You're dealing with a machine. At Fyter Fest, win if you can. Survive if he lets you.
That, and the greatest part about that is a patented Taz promo.
Yes.
That is Taz circa the early thousands in ECW promos. And that's who Taz is. Survive if I let you. Yep. That's literally his callback.
Yeah.
So I am so excited to see Taz back on the mic, back working with somebody now in the ring. This is just dream come true for childhood Nick.
I did love Moxley's response to everything that's been happening with his championship matches. He's like, well, I'm doing fine, by the way. Thanks for asking. Look, I'm a little beat up from my match with Brody Lee on Saturday. Look, this Brody Lee guy comes out of nowhere, fighting him for the title. And then, now I gotta face, freaking Brian Cage came out of nowhere. So this has been great. This has been exciting.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get off my couch since Sunday, but whatever. I'm doing great. Thanks, guys.
And now we get to one of the cringier parts of the night. That was Britt Baker, the rules of a role model. Yes, it's back. Everyone's favorite segment from Britt Baker. And we get rule number 3.
Don't hurt the role model.
Yes.
This was great. So, yes, maybe the emasculating Tony Schiavone has gone a tad too far. But the whole segment with Reba, or Rebel, was actually really funny. The fact that she had a whole evidence board drawn up that everyone's a conspirator. Nyla Rose, I've seen you do that move thousands of times, and with perfect precision. You did that on purpose, conspirator!
Yeah, she thinks that her getting injured last week was a conspiracy, all created by the mastermind, Ref Aubrey.
Aubrey. The worst part about this is, Aubrey has come out time and time again on the AEW podcast and said, I don't want to be a part of a storyline. Referees should not be part of storylines. They should be there to call the matches. You can like them, their style or whatever more. They shouldn't be part of a storyline.
Yes.
And literally, now they're like, you're the mastermind!
Yeah, I did think this was a little on the sillier side. I've loved Britt Baker's work on the mic over these last couple months. This was one of my least favorite segments I think she's done. I haven't been a huge fan of the Rules of a Role Model segments though, so this was all right though. She did mention the big thing to take away from this is that she's going to be back presumably at All Out. That is the announcement that she made, so that's the big takeaway from this whole thing is that she's going to be out for a minute. She's going to be gone for a while, but we should expect to see her come All Out. So, of course, we wish Dr. Britt Baker a speedy recovery, and we hope that everything goes well in the healing process. So, next we get an interview from the Inner Circle, and we don't get too far into it as Orange Cassidy, the OC, walks through the middle of their segment. You have everyone in the Inner Circle looking puzzled, staring at OC. Jericho goes, did he just... He just did that, didn't he? All right. See you later, Orange. So, a little bit of foreshadowing there. We now get the tasty Christy James versus Hikaru Shida. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take this one on the chin. Hikaru Shida, I love you as a champion. Please, for the love of God, don't be the naive babyface. Come on, dance, Shida, dance. Okay, no, you idiot. What is wrong with you? This is a squash. Just kill her. It's a squash match.
I miss Nyla Rose
Break
already.
her face.
I miss Nyla already.
Like, you broke Britt Baker's nose. Break her nose. I don't want to see Christy James on my TV. She wasn't even that bad. She was a little slow, but like, come on, Shida.
Yeah, this is what I worried about when you took the belt off of Nyla, is that you lose that power and badassery, like that little bit of legitimacy that Nyla Rose added to your women's division as your champion. You knew that when you see Nyla Rose show up on your TV, shit's about to get real. I don't feel that when I hear Hikaru Shida's theme song, when I see her come strutting down to the ring carrying her freaking kendo stick that she never uses. Like, I don't care. I don't. Like, it was a nice little moment at Double or Nothing. Oh, good on you, Shida. That's so touching, and we're all happy for you. But now that the happy moment's over and reality's setting in, and that's the reality is that Hikaru Shida is your women's champion. She's not a very good one. That's the reality. This is giving me Riho vibes, except I at least liked Riho. And props to Shida, she's going to show up every week. I will give her that. But that shouldn't be the effing bar for your women's champion, guys. Hell, Becky Lynch had an excuse. She was pregnant.
Charlotte shows up 3 times a week.
Yeah. You see the bar. Like, come on, guys.
And then we get John Cena.
Yes.
Cody, the new TNT champion, comes down to the ring. The champ is here!
Yes, he starts his promo by saying, I'm going to ask you a question, Tony. I know you're the interviewer, but I want to ask you a question. Why do you think that Tom Brady is my favorite quarterback? Which, by the way, if that was a live crowd, just boos all over. But he goes, listen, I like Tom Brady. I think he's my favorite quarterback because he wasn't the first pick. He had to bust his ass to get where he was. And then, like Tom Brady, I remember, when Tony Khan was building this company, he wanted to get some of the best wrestlers in the world, the biggest names, the biggest brands. I wasn't the first call. I wasn't the second call. Hell, I wasn't the third call. I was the fourth.
The saddest part is the obviousness of who the first 3 calls were.
Yes.
Kenny, Nick, and Matt.
Yes. And, kind of surprising, too, in the fact that you know Cody as the face of AEW, so realizing that he wasn't the first call, like, that's kind of, again, that's that reality setting in. He explains that, look, people, when they look at me, they think that I've got all the power, that my story is one of nepotism and being handed things. Look, I got called up in the other company at 21 when I wasn't ready. I didn't know how to hit the ropes correctly. I grew up in front of you guys on television. Look, Dustin, my brother, he got all the Dusty. He's the Simba of this story. I'm not the hero here. But I learned from my mom. She's the one that taught me about hard work. And then that's when we get the John Cena.
Yes. So Cody is issuing the TNT Championship Open Challenge. It starts in 2 weeks. Next week, he faces the winner of the Battle Royal. But yeah, he goes full on John Cena at the end.
You want some? Come get some!
I am extremely excited to see where this goes, and him offering an open challenge is just, it should really solidify that belt as legitimate.
So this is, again, we talked about this last night when we were going over our notes for the show. This is kind of like to everyone that was critiquing Cody winning the match on Saturday. Obviously, I wasn't the biggest fan of the result. I would have preferred a Lance Archer victory, but I wasn't complaining about it. I thought that this was fine. Cody, if anyone deserves a championship, has worked hard and busted their ass, it's Cody flipping Rhodes. So I didn't have a problem with the result, but a lot of people did. A lot of people were coming out and saying, oh, this is another example of a corporate guy putting themselves over. Just because you're a member of the elite, you gotta wear a belt, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, this is Cody saying, dude, guys, I can't even compete for the world championship. Like, I've been losing my entire career. Like, I deserve something here. So I appreciate that. I think this was a fantastic promo by Cody. Every promo Cody Rhodes cuts is just pure fire. He is amazing on the microphone. You just feel the passion cutting through all of his words. Like, talk about authenticity. That he's got it.
He may be one of the 3 best talkers in the business right now.
Yes.
I mean, MJF is definitely up there as well, and we get to that later tonight as well.
Yes. So moving on now, we get Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc versus SCU, Scorpio Sky, and Frankie Kazarian.
All right, I'm gonna shoot straight. I didn't hate the match. Match wasn't bad. Not a huge fan of the result.
I don't care. Which is one of the few times I think I've said that about the AEW tag team division. We know that whoever wins this match, they're not beating Kenny and Hangman. I don't care. I especially don't care when now you have Kip and Havoc going on to face Kenny and Hangman. Now we know for sure they're not winning next week. This is another example of what you hate the most: a thrown together tag team getting an opportunity. Why does AEW hate SCU? Throw them a bone. Can these guys get something? Like, they won the tag team championships few bit back, and now they just can't seem to get any momentum going. They got their asses kicked in the casino ladder match on Saturday. You've done nothing with Scorpio Sky since doing those promo segments over the week. I keep waiting for him to get a push, and that's not happening. Maybe now that they've lost this match, you can lean forward. You can lean towards the breakup of SCU and start pushing on Scorpio Sky as a solo act. But I I don't care. You're right, the match wasn't bad, but I just didn't care.
Well, things aren't getting any better next week for SCU. It's not yet official, but there are reports that FTR is making their debut next week against SCU, so that should be another L for you guys.
Yes.
Big match, though. I mean, that's going to be a great match. I can't wait to watch it, but again, it's probably going to be another loss for them. I mean, do I think Kip and Jimmy Havoc have a chance in hell? No. But would I be surprised if they win? Not really. I don't know. I don't know anymore with AEW. That's the thing. I mean, after Double or Nothing, I'm to the point where I'm like, sure, Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc could be tag team champions. Why not?
That's fair. I mean, I thought it was all but set in stone that, like, Nyla was walking away as champion and that Lance Archer was going to defeat Cody. And, yeah, you're right. I don't know anymore. Talk about curveballs, and we're definitely going to talk about that later on in the week. But, yeah, no, I could be completely wrong, and we could see Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc walk away as our new AEW Tag Team Champions, and I'm probably going to just have to flip a table at that point because nothing matters anymore. So, let's move on before I get too upset about this.
The one thing I will say before we move on is I do appreciate the two of them together. They have grown on me. They've grown as a team. Yes, I know, 2 single stars getting thrown together. But they've grown together for about the last month or two. It's not great yet, but they're growing on me.
Keep growing, because I got nothing and I feel nothing in regard to these guys as a tag team. I don't see how they even work together. Jimmy Havoc's like this hardcore dish out pain, takes all the pain, and Kip Sabian's like a pretty boy, bad heel. Like, I don't get the relationship. They formed literally out of nowhere. I don't care.
Both British.
Yes, that's the connection there. They both have the funny accent, so tag team.
So, we get word now from Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
This promo, talk about this firing shots. It seems like every promo now, he's just taking shots at somebody. He talks about how, he's one of the youngest up-and-coming breakout stars in the business. He's undefeated, and he didn't have to come from another promotion to do it. That could be aimed at anybody.
I mean, Jericho, Moxley, Matt Hardy,
Cody,
Lance Archer, who, I mean, he's not undefeated, but Lance Archer, Cody, Dustin. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, all these guys were in New Japan, ROH, Impact, or WWE at some point, except MJF and, like, the Jurassic Express and a couple of other, like, small tag teams, like.
Yeah, so this is a shot at, like, the entire locker room, essentially. But I would assume he's aiming more at, like, the ex-WWE guys. But, he says that, and then he says, it's also kind of strange how I'm undefeated, but I haven't got a title shot yet. It's almost like a certain someone is trying to hold me back. But it's okay, because I'm in this battle royal, for a shot to be the first person to challenge that certain someone for the TNT Championship. I just want to make sure that certain someone gets a proper challenge. And I already know that when it's just me and War Dog, he knows what to do. To which Wardlow goes, but, and MJF explodes. But nothing!
I'm just playing with you. I got you good. Look at you. You're really steaming. You're angry, aren't you?
What a rib. All right, see you out in the ring, Wardlow.
Yeah, so we get now the Battle Royal for a shot at the TNT Championship. And it was a good battle royal.
Yeah, the couple that we've seen in AEW, they're normally good. I normally enjoy them. The funny part, the match starts and then Orange Cassidy's music hits, so he's late for the match. I thought that was great, but it doesn't matter.
My favorite thing was Billy Gunn just stripping out of his clothes, and he has his ring gear on underneath.
He's like,
"That's me.
I'm in the match. I'm in the match." And you have his son. Yes, go, Dad, go.
The DX Titantron as he's getting in the ring.
Yeah, but Orange Cassidy, it doesn't matter that he's late because he actually gets attacked by Santana and Ortiz, who are getting retribution for him cutting through their earlier interview. So he's laid out for a little bit. He pulls a full Chris Jericho from, what was it, like the 2019 Royal Rumble. He just takes a nap the entire match.
Hour and a half.
Yes, but this match, I enjoyed it. At one point, Colt Cabana gets eliminated, and the Dark Order actually hands him literature, and he doesn't toss it. So nice. We could see where that's going. I think that you want to get me interested in Colt Cabana. There you go. Get him in the Dark Order. Boom, boom, Dark Order. Boom, boom, Dark Order.
There's very few guys in this battle royal that I didn't like either.
Exactly.
I mean, there was
the Librarian.
Cutler and Peter Avalon were both in there.
I was gonna say that was my favorite spot of the match when they went to picture in picture and you had Cutler and the Librarian squaring off on the side of the apron, and I'm just like, oh, I'm really glad this is picture in picture right now.
AEW. Yeah, but this was a fantastic battle royal, and it comes down to the final four. Billy Gunn actually just eliminates himself, and it is...
Him and Lucha both get eliminated at the same time, actually, by MJF, to which he gives the suck it DX chop.
And then turns to the camera and proceeds to do it about 8 more times.
Yes.
While pelvic thrusting. It was great. It was an improved suck it chop. Yeah, so the final four are MJF, Wardlow, Orange Cassidy, the OC, and Jungle Boy, which I thought was really cool. And of course, MJF pulls out the Dynamite Diamond.
So this whole match, before we break this one down, the entire time MJF's been hiding behind Wardlow in one of the corners, who's just like acting as like his bodyguard / shield. So that's it's understandable how he made it to the final four. But yes, go ahead and break down this final segment.
And they go for the spot, the kiss the ring spot, and Wardlow's holding, I believe it's Orange Cassidy, and MJF goes for the shot. And he hits Wardlow square in the jaw.
Yeah,
Of course, Orange Cassidy moved out of the way. But by God, Wardlow was fuming.
Yeah, he was seeing stars before he was able to see red.
As MJF is trying to figure out what he has done, the two eliminate both MJF and then Wardlow. And it is Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy, and you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah, either one of these guys would be a fantastic match for Cody. But we do see in the end, Jungle Boy hits a Hurricane Rana, sends the OC flying, and he picks up the victory. So next week, Cody versus Jungle Boy for the TNT Championship.
The best thing that happened in this match, JR called it. And that's a Superman punch.
And then he like doubles back. He's like, "Oh, it's like a punch of Superman variety."
Yeah, and then Excalibur's like, "Well, that's the style. It's a Superman style punch." Jared's like, "Oh, there's another one, Superman punch." I'm like, "Yes, it's an AEW." Ooh, ah!
I'm just waiting on OC to hit the freaking spear. Or like a Samoan drop, and there you go.
He comes out with a Samoan tat, like, just on his chest.
Yes. So, great result. I'm looking forward to that match with Jungle Boy and Cody. believe that'd be their first time having a one-on-one match in Dynamite.
Yeah, I believe you're correct about that. Of course, Jungle Boy needs the retribution after a tough pinfall loss to MJF at Double or Nothing. So, good booking decision. Jungle Boy's going to be a great competitor for this title. Obviously, you're not taking the title off Cody this quickly, but you want to have a long list of very talented opponents that he goes through to legitimize this title.
And that's the thing you have to understand. He said he's defending this every week. Every single week. So, depending on how long he holds this belt, he's just going to run through the AEW roster.
I'm just waiting on them to get that moment. The Kevin Owens, John Cena moment. Where you go, I'm okay now. You can take the belt off him.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been absolutely fantastic. And we close, of course, with Jungle Boy celebrating his victory.
So, last part of the night, we get the Inner Circle pep rally with cheerleaders and a marching band, and one of the hosts is Vicky Guerrero as a cheerleader. My God, that was infuriating. I love Vicky, but that voice though.
I don't think she needed to be mic'd up for the occasion.
No, she did not. And she gave an introduction for every member of the Inner Circle.
Yeah, the segment was great, by the way. Jake Hager, you big, beautiful, smart, psychotic, killer of a man, you.
You have the Inner Circle trying to give away their Stadium Stampede shirts. The crowd actually starts throwing them back. I think that's hilarious. And then, yes, all of the Inner Circle members started giving gifts to each other. Sammy got participation trophies for the group because they participated. Chris Jericho got Sammy a scooter. That way he can ride around in style. After he took that massive bump from Saturday night, he has an injured leg. He got Ortiz headphones, so now he can hear. And then Jake Hager, as you alluded to, wrote a poem for the Inner Circle called Happiness.
Happy.
I don't know, did you get the poem? Or?
Unfortunately, I did not. But, hey, he's a poet. He's an absolute poet. Until he turns psychotic.
It starts off so happy and genuine. And then,
basically, the end of the poem is, to the elite, I know where you live. I'm trained in killing people. Your families are not safe.
Yeah, he starts doing the whole, I will find you and I will kill you thing. I have a specific set of
skills.
Each and every one of you, you're not safe. I will end your pathetic existence. Like, the rest of the Inner Circle was like, Hager, Jake, calm down, calm down.
Happy. The end.
And then, finally, Sammy asked Jericho, Chris, what do you want? What do I want? What do I want, Sammy? I want Mike Tyson's stupid head on a platter. That's what I want. I haven't forgotten about 2011, Tyson.
Okay, so we're openly referencing Raw now.
Yes.
Fine. Why the hell not?
Yep.
But, bruh, he even said on a Monday night, and I'm like, I was just waiting on him to just straight up say on Monday Night Raw.
All the lawsuits.
But yeah, so on a Monday night, Mike Tyson turned his back on Chris Jericho, joined D-Generation X, and knocked him out with one punch.
Yes. So they call out Mike Tyson, to which Tyson responds. He comes out. He's got a posse and everything. And Jericho demands an apology for him knocking him out. Tyson calls him a sucker, says, you stole the championship. Which championship was that, Tyson? You wanna go?
AEW championship, right? When he said that, as soon as he said that, you saw Jericho pull the mic back, like, shut up, Mike Tyson.
You stole the WWE. Well, that's enough, Tyson. Yes, but Jericho demands an apology. Tyson responds by attempting to rip his t-shirt. He can't quite get it all the way off. He's like trying to flex. He's got the tattered shirt all over his like body. It's tasty.
So let me explain. For those of you who don't know, the AEW logo shirts, some of them are just screen printed, which means they're really difficult to rip at the logo. Dude went right at the logo, and I'm like, oh, Tyson, that's not the right spot. Bro, if it was stitched, you'd be fine.
But that's the thing. He did it. He ripped the logo part in half. He couldn't get the bottom part off. Like, he couldn't rip it clean off, so then it's just dangling there, like, on his freaking, like, out on his arms. He's just, like, sitting there trying to flex. Looks goofy as all hell.
To which they get in a shoving match.
The IC and the Posse, as I will be referring to them, start brawling. You see the referees and the entire locker room empty. You got, like, Cody Rhodes trying to hold back Tyson. You've got members of the Inner Circle trying to hold back Jericho. It's this big brawl. That's how Dynamite goes off the air. This felt like the end of a Monday Night Raw. But like a Raw from like 2007. That's what this felt like.
Which makes it okay.
Yes.
And I think the best thing is afterwards, Instagram got an exclusive interview with Mike Tyson, AEW's Instagram, where they asked him about the segment. He said, "Oh, Chris Jericho, you're going to be seeing me around here. I'm going to kick your ass." So
we talked about this a little bit last night. We had differing opinions on this. I liked this segment a lot. I'm especially looking forward to where they're going. Tyson versus Jericho. Is the match going to be good? No, of course not. But we got to think about the importance of this. This is AEW's first celebrity feud. Like, this is huge for a fledgling wrestling company. AEW's in a year of existence now, and they already have people like Mike Tyson doing huge feuds against their former world champion Chris Jericho. This is massive for AEW, and whether it's going to be great or not, I'm just excited for the company. I think this is fantastic, and again, this took me back to like old Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, well, and this is the thing. We talked about it last night. I thought the segment was a little goofy at times, and of course it was. It's an Inner Circle segment, and Mike Tyson's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you did convince me a little bit last night of the importance of this for the company, for the industry, if you will. AEW now has its very first celebrity feud. I mean, they've had people come in, they've had comedians come in, they had Bret the Hitman Hart present the first title, but this is the first celebrity feud now. This is something that WWE started doing when they started getting to the WrestleMania era. So this is something that, this is a sign of a company really going, excuse the pun, all in.
God damn it.
So I'm really extremely excited to see how this turns out. The match is going to be horrible. Honestly, I hope it's not even a match. I hope that they wind up at, convincing Jericho to get into a boxing match with Tyson.
I'd be fine with that.
Would be better.
Yeah,
That'd be so much better.
They need to do something like what they've been doing recently with, stuff like the Stadium Stampede, goofy matches like that. It just needs to be something, silly and just absolutely batshit crazy. Just go all out with it.
Now, man, we should have them do the WWE Brawl for All. No rules, no specified winner. Just go out and beat the shit out of each other and see what happens.
And you
The ironic thing is Tyson and Jericho are the same weight.
And you're definitely right in the sense that, yeah, it is goofy. I've talked about how cringe Mike Tyson can be. Again, he couldn't rip the shirt, almost mentioning the WWE Championship, visibly falling asleep during the match on Saturday night. So, it's goofy, it's silly, but everything with a celebrity is going to be goofy and silly unless you get, like, people like, again, the Floyd Money Mayweathers who are just natural born heels and entertainers in the industry. Like, people like that just, they take to professional wrestling so well, but not everybody's like that. So, and that's not saying Tyson isn't a natural born entertainer. He is, but you can tell he's a little disconnected from the business. So, and definitely all the concussions probably don't help either. So, yeah, this will be entertaining at least. It's not going to be the greatest thing, but I'm looking forward to it. So, we wrap up AEW Dynamite. What is your match of the night?
This is tough. I got two matches that I really liked, and I'm going to go against my better judgment here. I'm going to say the Battle Royal was my match of the night tonight.
Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks versus the Private Party and Joey Janela tag team match. I think seeing Matt Hardy and what's really become like a career resurgence has been especially entertaining for me. Again, the Hardy Bros are near and dear to my heart, and it's been great seeing Hardy having fun in AEW, really enjoying himself. So that's going to be my match of the night. Who is your MVP?
So since I can't pick the duo, I am going to pick one, and hope to God you follow in my footsteps here. I'm going to take Cash Wheeler as my MVP tonight. FTR, baby. I can't wait. That new shirt they dropped is straight fire. And, I'm really excited for FTR to be joining the company.
I actually am not going to be following in your footsteps. I am going to be giving my MVP following the match of the night to Matt Hardy. I think Matt Hardy had an amazing match tonight. His promo work was hilarious, as it always is, and very entertaining. He was also a member of one of, like, two matches that I actually thought was worth even fully breaking down, because every other match tonight, the four of them just were meh. So I think I'm going to give it to Matt Hardy.
Alrighty, and then Fight of the Night, I'm going to go ahead and give to Dax Harwood, which, I mean, hey, at least he gets that. But I think it was a fantastic night for professional wrestling. Both AEW and NXT did a great job. Who is your show of the night?
So this is a tough one for me. NXT definitely came back this week with a vengeance. They had been kind of putting out subpar content these last couple weeks, really getting their ass kicked by Dynamite. But now they've come and they've made it a tough decision for me, and I'm actually going to side with the black and gold over on USA Network. I am going to pick NXT as my show of the night. It was hard picking against Dynamite, obviously with the debut of FTR, everything Matt Hardy did. The stuff at the end of the night with Jericho and Mike Tyson I thought was fantastically done, and obviously Cody Rhodes' promo. That being said, the in-ring work on Dynamite was not the best. You only had the tag team match at the beginning, and then the Battle Royale were the only two matches that I thought were really worth anything of that. I didn't like the Britt Baker segment really at all. And there was nothing on NXT that I could really overly complain about. I enjoyed every match except for the two squash matches we got, but I did like the promo work that we got after those. But other than that, NXT for the most part I just enjoyed just that much better than Dynamite tonight. So NXT is going to be my show of the night.
Well, and then I guess you can understand that I'm going to go in the opposite direction with about that much room between the two of them as well. Both had two squash matches. I actually kind of enjoyed the Brian Cage one. Dirty little secret of mine. The Britt Baker thing didn't bother me. I thought it was actually kind of funny. She needs to lay off Tony Schiavone a little bit, but everything else was actually pretty funny. I mean, Schiavone's obviously okay with it, otherwise it wouldn't be happening. But yeah, the whole night between both of these shows, I mean, there's so much good on both sides. It was really difficult for me to pick either one, but when it comes down to it, it's just FTR. That's it. That's all. Like, literally, I know NXT put on a great show, and that Fight Pit match, one of my favorite matches from the night. Well, it was my favorite match of the night, but FTR, dude. I can't pick against that.
Yeah, for me, I don't give as much credence to debuts for shows as you've done in the past. So, like, I mean, most of the shows that you normally pick Dynamite over NXT when it's been this close, someone's debuted, whether it's Matt Hardy or Brody Lee, and I can't put a show over for a debut. It's different if it's a debut match, but just for a debut, that has never been something that tips the scale for me.
And that's the thing. I look at it this way. Both shows at the end of the night were about even for me. And the one thing that puts it over is the debut. Yeah, so it's not that the debut made or broke Dynamite for me. They were about even matches tonight, or even shows tonight for me anyways.
Yeah, for me, it's just more, again, the FTR thing, just debuts just don't do it for me. Like I get hype about them, but I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then seeing, obviously, the Fight Pit match at the end of the night was just fantastic. Best match of the night, in my opinion. So it's just hard for me to put Dynamite over NXT. But again, it was close. It was this much, so I definitely understand where you're coming from with Dynamite. It's hard week to choose, so either option. You don't go wrong with either show. Definitely recommend watching both episodes tonight. So, with that being said, that is going to wrap up our Wednesday Night Wars video. Next time you see us, it will be our SmackDown review. Of course, then we will have the weekend wrap-up. That will be the SmackDown review. Will hopefully go live on Saturday, and then we will have the weekend wrap-up for you on Sunday night. Fingers crossed. Obviously, the Wrevolution Pro Wrestling Podcast is only available on YouTube due to the current setup that we have to use because of that shall not be named. However, when all of this is over, we will be going back to our standard format of giving you the audio podcast and the YouTube version. So if you follow us on all of our podcast sites, including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts, and the greatest podcast site in the world, Podbean, as well as any other sites where fantastic podcast sites like ourselves are found, then we will have that quality content for you there. Make sure to like and subscribe with notifications on. Follow us on our social medias to stay up to date on all things Wrevolution. And as always, I've been Marcus White, live from Studio 6.
Fight Mode Nick Cavalli from the spare bedroom.
And this has been the Wrevolution Pro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, join the Revolution. Have a great night.